We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Epictetus. It's strange, isn't it? How a man who lived 2,000 years ago, in chains, with no wealth, no power, and no freedom, can understand your inner world better than many of today's so-called experts. How could someone like him possibly know what it feels like to lie awake at night, overthinking every detail of your day, rehearsing disasters that haven't happened, and probably never will? The truth is, he knew exactly what that felt like. Because the prison of the mind is older than civilization itself. And Epictetus, despite being enslaved by men, chose not to be enslaved by fear. This video is not about theory. It's not about quoting ancient words for the sake of sounding wise. This is about you, right now. And the silent war you're fighting every day with your own thoughts. Let's break the silence. Let's tear down the lie. The lie that says, if I worry enough, maybe I'll be safe. If I stay anxious, I'll be prepared. If I fear everything, nothing will surprise me. That lie is killing your peace. And Epictetus has already shown us the way out. He begins with one of the most freeing and terrifying truths of all. There are only two kinds of things in life: those that are within your control and those that are not. Everything that causes anxiety belongs to the second category. Think about it. Can you control what someone else thinks of you? Can you control whether someone loves you, praises you, stays with you, respects you? Can you control tomorrow's headlines? Or how many days you'll live? Or whether tragedy strikes? No, but you try. You try with your thoughts, with your plans, with your endless worrying, as if fear could prevent pain. But fear is pain. It's pain borrowed from a future that hasn't happened. It's suffering over possibilities that exist only in imagination. Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." And here lies the key. Anxiety isn't caused by the world. It's caused by the story you tell yourself about the world. You've been trained to believe that control equals safety. But the Stoics taught something radically different. Freedom equals detachment from control. You are not safe because you control everything. You are safe because you know what is truly yours and what is not. Your job is not to predict the future, or to please everyone, or to live a perfect life. Your only task is to govern yourself, your thoughts, your intentions, your actions. But we've been taught to fear the one thing we should master: our own mind. We've become addicted to noise. We open our phones the moment silence arrives. We scroll, refresh, swipe, feeding the illusion of control, feeding the anxiety machine. And all along, the answer was inside us. Epictetus didn't have a smartphone. He didn't have a therapist. He didn't have a social media following. What he had was clarity. He saw what most people still don't. The person who suffers from anxiety is not weak. They are simply caught in a false belief that they must fix the external world in order to feel peace inside. But the world was never yours to fix. And peace was never out there. It was here, inside, waiting for you to stop chasing control. And once you understand that, something changes. Not instantly, not magically, but deeply. You begin to realize that you don't need to suppress anxiety. You need to reframe it. What are you afraid of? Is it failure, rejection, uncertainty, loss? All of these things are part of life. All of them are outside your control. Epictetus would say, don't seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. It sounds impossible at first. How can I wish for rejection, for uncertainty, for hardship? You don't wish for the pain itself. You wish for the opportunity to respond to it with courage, with grace, with strength. You wish for the growth that comes from surrendering what you cannot control and mastering what you can. And suddenly, anxiety becomes a messenger. It tells you where you're clinging to something that was never yours to begin with. It points you to your attachments, to control, to approval, to certainty. And with that awareness, you can begin to release. Not all at once, but moment by moment, thought by thought, You pause. You breathe. You ask, is this within my control? If it is, you act with clarity. If it's not, you let go. This is not passivity. It's power. You are no longer reactive. You are no longer a slave to circumstance. You are no longer defined by fear. You begin to live in reality, not in your imagination. You begin to feel space around your thoughts. You begin to access the silence that was buried beneath the noise. That silence is peace. And peace is not the absence of fear. It's the ability to walk with fear without being ruled by it. That's what Epictetus taught. But if peace is possible, why does it still feel so far away? Why do we keep slipping back into worry, doubt, and tension? Even after moments of clarity, it's because there's still one illusion we haven't fully dismantled. One that's been quietly shaping your life from the shadows. It feels safe, doesn't it? To have everything planned. To know what's coming next. To keep things, and people, within your expectations. But the truth is, control is the greatest thief of peace. It makes you believe that you must micromanage the universe just to feel okay. It tells you that uncertainty is the enemy, that any change, any failure, any deviation means danger. And that is exhausting. Because life doesn't care about your plans. It unfolds as it must. Wild, unpredictable, untamed. But here's the Stoic paradox. The moment you let go of trying to control everything, you actually gain control. Not of the world, but of yourself. And that is where true power lives. Now let me take you back, briefly, to Epictetus himself. Born into slavery, abused, ignored by history for years. He could have spent his life bitter, silent, broken. But he didn't. He used every ounce of pain as fuel for wisdom. He became a teacher, not by shouting, but by standing firm in calmness. He had no riches, no title, and yet emperors studied his words. Why? Because he mastered the one thing most of us ignore, his inner world. His legacy is not just philosophy, it's an invitation to reclaim your own mind from chaos, to rise from helplessness to clarity. And you can start right now. I want to offer you a simple mental practice, one that Epictetus lived by, one that can shift your relationship with anxiety starting today. The next time you feel overwhelmed, afraid, paralyzed by what might happen, pause, close your eyes, and ask yourself this one question. What part of this is up to me? If the answer is nothing, release it. Breathe into it. Let it pass like a cloud. If the answer is something, act on it. With calm, with purpose, without obsession. Do this every day, every hour if needed, and watch what happens. You'll begin to feel something rare. Not excitement, not comfort. Freedom. The freedom to meet life as it is, not as you fear it might be. The freedom to walk through uncertainty without losing your center. The freedom to finally, fully live. Most people never taste that. They die chained to expectations, to what-ifs, to imaginary futures. But you don't have to live that way. You have a choice now, a new lens, a new path. And yes, it takes courage. Yes, it takes repetition. But the destination is worth it, because beyond the fear, beyond the noise, beyond the stories you've been told, there is peace, and it's been waiting for you all along. So what now? What do you do after hearing all this? You remember that the path is not about perfection. It's not about never feeling anxiety again. It's about seeing it, recognizing it, and no longer believing its lies. The lie that says you're not enough. The lie that says you'll only be safe when everything is under control. The lie that says you're alone in this. You're not. Right now, as you watch this, there are millions of people feeling the same tightness in their chest, the same racing thoughts, the same fear of falling behind in a world that never stops moving. But here's the secret. You don't have to run anymore. What you need isn't outside. It's not more money, more validation, more control. What you need is already within you. A quiet strength, a calm core, a deep knowing that no matter what happens out there, you remain whole in here. That's what Epictetus knew. He couldn't change his circumstances, but he could change how he showed up to them, with dignity, with reason, with peace. And now, it's your turn. Let me ask you something. What has been weighing on your heart lately? What fear, what burden, what inner storm have you been carrying alone? I want you to take a moment, right now, and share it in the comments. Not because I have all the answers, but because speaking your truth is the first step to reclaiming your power. Let this be more than a video. Let it be a space where you can be honest, raw, human. Say what's been haunting you. Say what you've been afraid to say. We are listening. This is how healing begins. Not with pretending, but with presence. And maybe, just maybe, by putting it into words, you'll take away some of its power. You don't need to hide behind the smile anymore. You don't need to carry the world on your shoulders. You just need to come back to yourself, back to this moment, back to what is real. And if there's one thing to remember, let it be this. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fear. You are not your anxiety. You are the one observing it, the one breathing through it, the one who gets to choose the next step. And that choice is freedom. So if this message touched something in you, if it reminded you of something you'd forgotten, if it gave you even a glimpse of peace in the middle of the storm, subscribe. Not for me, but for you. For the version of you that's done living as a prisoner of fear. For the version of you that's ready to rise, to remember, to rebuild. This channel is a space for that, for the thinkers, the feelers, the ones who can no longer pretend that surface-level living is enough. We go deep here. We face the shadows. We speak truth, even when it's hard. And if that resonates with you, welcome home. Now go. Live today not as a victim of anxiety, but as the master of your mind. Epictetus would be proud. And you should be too.